Okay, so it is recording.
It works.
All right, so
At least
today.
you're not doing it in somebody else's. I guess you're maturing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the three wise men, Tito, Stony, and Mr. Mark. All three of them are martial artists, and they have talents that are going to totally blow you away. So, I am stepping out of the way, and Tito, you're up.
Okay, I'm a Apache chief, and I am Two Eagles. I'm also the chief of Region 3 of Texas, the Apache Council of Texas. I'm an avid hunter, fisherman, but most of all, elk and turkey. And I would like to share my experiences with the young children on the art of calling elk and turkeys, and also the dangers associated with the hunting of various games. And I hail from Corpus Christi, Texas, and I currently reside in Benson, Arizona. And I would like to share my knowledge with the young kids.
Thank you very much, Tito. We're going to learn more about Tito and him joining us in Historically Speaking in Los Lunas, New Mexico, December 8th. Stony Stone, he will also be joining us. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Stony.
My name is Larry Stone. I was born in upstate New York 100 years ago. I'm a martial arts instructor. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a published author, and I was inducted in the Martial Arts Hall of Fame in 2000. And our hope is to help children or young people understand a little bit better the history of our country, where we come from, who we are, and why we are where we are. So that's our hope. Our hope is to enlighten young people and get them interested in the study of American history.
Beautiful. And then we have Mark Cody. Mark, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Mark Edward Cody. I'm from Winter Haven, Florida. I'm also a martial arts instructor. I teach a variety of disciplines, including Wado-Ryu, karate, jiu-jitsu, Filipino combat systems, Kali, and I teach many of the Japanese fighting systems, weapon systems such as Kinjitsu, Jodo, the use of the 4-foot staff. I'm a tactical firearms instructor. I'm also a published author. I've written 7 books. Most of them are on combat strategy, martial art technique. My last book is called The Sword of Truth, and it is a documentation of how the King James Bible was translated from the original texts. And the next book that I'm working on is going to be called The Sword of Liberty, and which will be going into the foundational principles of the American Republic, talking a lot about the history of America, what makes it special, and how we got to where we're at now. A lot of the principles that America was founded on, people no longer understand, people no longer live their lives by. So one of the things that I try to do is make people understand where we came from so we can better go to where we need to be. I'm also a Baptist minister. A great deal of what I do has to do with understanding the scriptures and understanding what a huge part that it has in our culture. And it's my hope that through my writing and through my public speaking that I'll be able to share some of this information with a generation that really hasn't got the foundation that we used to have in our education system. When I was in school, we had a class called Americanism versus Communism. But today, I don't think too many young people have an exposure to that type of information. And one of the things I hope we can do through International Chrysalis and through some of the other groups I'm working with is address these issues and educate people about America.
Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. And thank you, Mr. Tito Rodriguez. And I'm looking forward to hearing more about the elk and turkey calls and how you got started in that, a little bit about your heritage, and what are you going to be teaching on December 8th?
Well, I got started at a young age. Excuse me. I grandfather introduced me to deer hunting at the age of 7, and I started calling turkeys first, and I listened to the turkeys, and I bought my first diaphragm, and it took me a while to master the art. I'm not an expert, but it worked for me. And the same thing with the elk. I picked up a diaphragm and started imitating the elk, and I've gotten to where I am now. I call them successfully. I harvest my animal, and like I said, I'm not an expert, but I'm willing to teach children the art of calling.
Do you happen to have one of the calls with you today?
It's in the car.
All right, we will get back with you on that one. And Mr. Stony Stone, Grandmaster of the Ishtu Martial Arts, tell us about your experiences in life and how you got where you are, and what can you do for our future generations.
I think my purpose in this whole thing is to help kids understand the possibilities, eliminate the negatives in your life. That could include any kind of influence from a teacher to a religious person to family member, siblings, understanding that the possibilities of becoming what you want to become lie in your mindset, what you think. And to help you understand a little bit more about your own personal possibilities. I grew up disabled in upstate New York, like I said. I spent 3 years in a children's hospital in Massachusetts when I was a young man, and went through many surgeries, and of course my life was full of impossibilities. You can't, it's impossible, no way. And what I've done in my life is follow my own personal dreams. I don't let anything limit my thought process or my goals. And through that process, I've become lead singer in a classic rock band, and I did that for over 20 years. I recorded a couple of albums with friends. That was a very successful part of my life. Moved into martial arts, another impossibility, and became a martial arts grandmaster. I have rank in 4 different martial arts systems. In that process, also understanding that even though my education was limited to a high school education, I did produce one book called Live Now, about living in the moment and the basic history of my life. And then Mark joined me in a revision of that book and an expanded edition of that book called Live Now, Imagine the Possibilities. And through that book and our motivational events, I've helped children throughout the United States and Canada hopefully raise the bar for their own life and live a life that they imagine they can live instead of living in the limitations that other people put on them. So my job, I believe, is to teach every young person in the world that you can be anything you want to be. You want to be a pilot? Another impossibility for me, I learned how to fly. It's life is up to you. Life is about pushing down the barriers in front of you, climbing up that next step when you know you can't, surrounding yourself with possibilities, surrounding yourself with positive people, reading positive books, watching positive motivational DVDs and CDs, and living in a positive mindset. Surround yourself with positive people, people that do instead of talk, and you'll find that the world's a great place. And I want to help you with that. And when we get done with these kind of tapes and these kind of interviews, we're going to give you the information so that you can contact us personally, and we're going to get involved in your lives. We care. I love you all. I want you to excel. And God created us with the mindset that we're all going to be the best that we can possibly be. Live the dreams. Don't be afraid to live your own dreams. I love you all. Take care, and we'll talk to you again.
Awesome, Stony. Thank you so much. That was very positive. And on our website, you will see we have Stony's book. And as he said, we will get that to you. And modern technology has entered into our informational system here. And we are going to bring Mr. Mark Cody in, who actually designed our logo for International Chrysalis Art and Music Education Incorporated. Mr. Mark, can you tell us a little bit more about the Fibonacci theory and the colors that you put on our logo?
Well, the Fibonacci sequence is a mathematical sequence that was discovered many, many years ago. And as I understand it, it's basically each number in the sequence is the sum of the previous two. 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, and 2 plus 3 is 5, and so on. And that sequence you see reoccurring in a lot of different things. Akin to that is what is often called the golden ratio. And we will see that everywhere in nature, from the chambered nautilus shell to the layout of the seeds on a sunflower. We see that in art. We see it even if you look as far as your light switch on your wall. Your light switch is made in those same dimensions. So it's a recurring thing that you'll see both in nature and in art. It's something that's just aesthetically pleasing. And when Joan approached me to come up with a logo for her organization, I thought that was something that would fit very nicely with what she was trying to do to represent that.
And as you all will see on our website, it is a very beautiful butterfly with very beautiful colors. Stay tuned, we will have more for you.